Welcome, everyone, to Daytona International Speedway. The Firecracker 400 is here. For the 8th time, we come back for the nighttime race here in Daytona. 100 laps will help get us started here as the run to the playoffs continues. 3 races to go in the regular season. The pressure amplifies here. It's HTL on ABN Mondays. And it's all here at Daytona. "37 drivers set to go racing tonight. Qualifying about to get set and underway. Here's what you need to know. Josh Arnold, the defending winner from a season ago. Stages 25 and 50. All of that super important to keep in mind here. The banking, you know the tale about Daytona. 31 degrees of banking. It is a behemoth. We call it the high banks for a reason. 100 laps even. Could we see overtime? Potentially. More often than not, over the last 7 seasons of this race, we've not seen overtime finishes. That could change, though. Everything is up in the air for this 8th running. 400 kilometers is how it's measured out to for those 100 laps. So we'll see how things pan out here. Standings going in: Emily Howell, Pacey Wygant, Caitlin Height, your top 3. They are locked in. They are marked in gold. Josh Arnold, Zach Meredith, not far from being locked in. Bren Roberts, Dustin Hall, all on the racetrack tonight. Could also lock themselves in. Same with Eli Sasek. Patrick Oberstadt's got a little more work to do, as does Tucker Sawyer. Byron Jones has a lot of work to do to try to find relative safety. Bobby Blauer is suspended for 2 races, missing last week and tonight. Could tumble out of the top 16 and will have to scramble back into the top 16 over the next 2 weeks after tonight. Zach Apperson, Stephen Oberstadt, Christina Ryan, Blake Henderson, they've all highlighted this racetrack as a place they can win. Will they is the question. It'd be game-changing if any of them do. Same for Mo Perry. Has a chance to do something revolutionary. Finish second at our last plate track at Talladega. Ascent Racing is strong. Are they strong enough to go back-to-back on the plate tracks here tonight? Mirabella Viscali, not part of the equation, withdrawn from the season. DJ Trout, though, very much a factor, has been on a hard charge up. With the road course coming up next Monday, DJ Trout is a 100% threat to make the playoffs here. You should not count out the 31. Brady Smith has a little bit of work to do. Ascent's got some good cars. Or is it going to be good enough for Brady Smith to break into the playoffs? He was expected to be a dark horse. Has had a disappointing season so far in this campaign. Alfred Denny, usually one of the top 10 best at Daytona, but still no wins in his 150 prior starts. Does race number 151 become the one for Alfred Denny? Dale Markowski denied 2 seasons ago by 8 milliseconds. He's 72 points out. A win tonight would be game-changing for him as well. John Matthews, likewise, just on the edge of being over an arm's length out. It would still put him in range if he could find a underdog victory tonight, as this race so often provides. Elias Flores, this is a win-plus territory for Flores. 97 points out, more than a race behind the cut line. Same for Bailey Thompson, Derek Miller, Philip Snipes, Jason Scott, James Wright, and Richard Odie, your top 30. And everyone else needs a lot more than just one race's worth of help. Qualifying is underway. So let's jump in. DJ Trout currently the fastest on the board. Only 8 drivers, though, with lap times set at the moment. Christina Ryan on the racetrack right now in that number 80. A lot of throwback paint schemes tonight. We covered that on Countdown to Grain over on Patreon. If you missed it, glance and you'll miss it. Throughout this broadcast tonight, we'll highlight them as we can. Christina Ryan on a qualifying run. Where does she sit? The number 80 goes 8th fastest. A little bit disappointing for that number 80 machine, who was expecting to be a little bit closer to the front. Caitlin Height, 2-time pole sitter for this race. This team looked outstanding at Daytona for the 500 for qualifying there. The NFG ended up winning the race with Philip Snipes. Can Caitlin Height find a 3rd pole here at Daytona for the Firecracker 400? We'll find out. Being nice and tidy on the yellow line. You can go below it in qualifying. Caitlin Height does, and that's not a great lap time. Only 16th for the 13 car. That is a very poor lap time for Arrowhead Racing standards here at the High Banks. Car on the racetrack, Angel Santiago, ready to go running in the 35 once again. He is just now beginning a run. Alfred Denny is halfway through his run in that Citgo number 21. That paint scheme has changed just a little bit, but there he is in that 21 car. That Citgo Wood Brothers machine is in play. And Alfred Denny only manages a top 10. It's 8th. Not bad for him. Still aiming for a little bit higher. Josh Susi in this Tabasco number 16 for Arrowhead Racing. Beginning a lap time now. His first time out in an Arrowhead car didn't go so well at Homestead. Can it go better here? We'll find out. Two-time former Cup Series champion. Reigning Challenger Series champion. Former Daytona 500 winner. He has done a lot in this HTL Cup Series competition, now in the role of super sub in this Tabasco fiasco. A throwback to the 1996 Pontiac Grand Prix, driven famously by Todd Bodine. Going around bottom of the racetrack here. 26 cars have set lap times down from Mo Perry, top of the board. Angel Santiago, bottom of the list. Through 3 and 4, coming to home, Josh Susi, 48.5, puts him outside front row. So they've got something in that Arrowhead machine. And Blue Jade goes top of the board. Less than 100th of a second. We're down to milliseconds separating your top 3. Henderson rolling out now. There's not many left to roll. Flores on the racetrack. Henderson just rolled. Jones, Stephen Oberstadt, Olivia Pereira, Ben Roberts, Dustin Hall, Austin Mongold, James Wright all have to run. Henderson on a run here in this Henderson Graphics. Number 25. Yet to win a points race here in HTL at Daytona. Wants to break through. 16th in points. Needs to break through. The question is, can he? 31 is that lap time so far. John Matthews. Byron Jones goes top of the board. How about Henderson? Where does he go? 48.5, not enough for pole, not enough for top 10, 11th. So Orlando Outlaws, 1, 2, 3. At the top of the board, Ascent 4th, Arrowhead Racing 5th. That's a shakeup. Twisted Setups have something. First to third. Puts them in a really good prime position. 100 laps, though, a lot can change. Mongold in this day glow. Dr. Pepper Menard's machine for Beagle Denny Racing. Looks like he'll be the last car to set qualifying time with 1 minute left to go. No one else on the racetrack, and no one will be able to finish the time if they rolled now. Mongold down at the bottom of the racetrack, a previous pole sitter in HTL over in Charlotte, 19th fastest here for the Firecracker. And And that will see qualifying come to a conclusion in a big way. Orlando Outlaws grab a 1-2-3 in qualifying. Talk about putting the field on notice. 37 cars. Make that 38 tonight. That's a huge obstacle for the field to overcome. Big moment. Some exciting times here. With qualifying finished, Byron Jones on pole position. A big moment for him. You have a chance to sort of step out and breathe for a second. Daytona 250, the road course at Daytona next Monday. The BFL 500 from Charlotte on the 14th ends out the regular season. The playoffs begin September 21st in Darlington for the Southern 500, as is tradition here in HTL. Then we head upstate New York to Seneca Lake for Watkins Glen, the New York 250 there, and then the Alabama 500 in Talladega on September 28th. All of that is important here. This is what, last time we were at Daytona, this is what we worked with. 550 horsepower with a specified tapered spacer, a 9-inch spoiler, 2-inch splitter overhang, mandatory rear ride height of 12 inches. All of that has changed with the changes to this Gen 6 car that have ultimately really killed it for the super speedways in terms of how they've adjusted the splitter and how sensitive the splitter is now. We have moved back to the Gen 7 that we saw last season. So we are still using 550 horsepower, but all of the specifications are now different. The tapered spacer is now different. The power is different now in these cars because we're not really running 550, we're running 605 is what really is happening. The spoiler is different, not as much downforce. What do you expect in this race? Well, what you should expect is a lot of speed. These cars, in practice, were touching 215 miles an hour, which is insane. That is 2014 level power here at Daytona. And they're going to use it. The runs we saw at Talladega were immense. You have a lot of space at Talladega, 5 lanes of room to run. You don't have those 5 lanes here at Daytona. So you've got to map things out just a little bit different. 3 wide could become the norm as people try to take runs and figure things out early. And it can get messy. 7 cautions the average here in the Firecracker 400. The most we've seen were 12. So we'll see if that's the case. While we're in warm-up here, a chance for us to shout out some of our amazing supporters here over on Patreon. All of our supporters, all of our subscribers on Patreon are featured in all of our broadcasts. Usually they're all in the ticker down below. Our premier tier patrons, though, we get to shout them out here right now. Trade Up Slogan, Dogman2935, Eli Sassick, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Philip Snipes, Tyler Head, B-Dogs, Colin McDonough, Blue, KJ Gibney, J-Paw, Jake Potak, and June. A lot of anniversaries coming up here to kick off the month of September. A lot of new content. ABN Unplugged on Wednesday. We have ABN Board Game Club coming out. The first episode coming out this week as well. We're excited for that. A lot of archives posted. The HTL National Series posted to Patreon for our subscribers exclusively earlier today. All 10 races up now for on-demand viewing. And a lot more planned here in September as we end up the month of August and get ready for fall. So we hope everyone joins us. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you want your name shouted out here on ABN broadcast on a weekly basis, or if you just want to have exclusive content and a great community to go with it, QR code on your screen can help you get started. All of our subscribers have access to our Fantasy Football League kicking up with the NFL season with a draft coming up here this weekend. So if fantasy football is your thing, you want a community to be a part of, that comes as part of the subscription to Patreon. Again, we are glad that you are with us in a big way. Our graphics overlay is a little bit messy, isn't it? Well, y'all get to see me adjust this in real time. There you go. There we go. Is that functional? Thereabouts? We'll make it make do. But I'm Carmen Sienna. We're glad you're with us for what should be a fun Monday night of racing. A lot of speed coming up here in the HTL Cup Series as we are less than 2 minutes away from going racing. So let's go ahead and let's jump in to what should be a fun night of action here in the HTL Cup Series. And that all begins with the starting grid. Your starting grid, bottom of your screen right now. Byron Jones on pole position. It's an Orlando Outlaws front row lockout here in Daytona for the Firecracker 400. Orlando Outlaws putting the field on notice in a massive way. It's a 1-2-3. Blue Jade in the 34 alongside Mo Perry. A lot of throwbacks here in this field tonight. No exception there. Blue Jade and Mo Perry in row 2. Third and fourth, Josh Susie, the Tabasco Fiasco. Top 5 best qualifier for Arrowhead Racing, alongside another fantastic campaign scheme. The full throwback for Steven Oberstadt. Team Ralph in effect here, row 3 in 6th. DJ Trout, Zach Apperson, they make up your top 8. That's row 4 for you here in Daytona. Your top 10 rounded out by Kevin Gibney Jr., his first race since earlier this season back in Phoenix. He's alongside Pacey Wygent, who sits in 10th exactly. Blake Henderson, 11th fastest ahead of Patrick Oberstadt. They'll line up alongside each other in row 6, both of them in Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwbacks here. Henderson, the National Guard throwback. Patrick Oberstadt throwing back to Dale Jr.'s final race in NASCAR Cup Series competition. Eli Sasek with the Kyle Busch throwback in row 7, 13th alongside Dale Markowski. Alfred Denny in that Wood Brothers throwback. The Sitco Ford Mustang sits in 15th alongside Bailey Thompson, teammates there in that 8th row. Tucker Sawyer and Nicholas Pressey make up row 9. The last two ABN World Champions share that row together in the top 20, which is earmarked, and rounded out by Austin Mongold and Wesley Worley. Philip Snipes kicks out row 11 alongside teammate Emily Howe. Both of them very present, very much a factor in how Daytona played out earlier this season. Philip Snipes was the winner of that race. Emily Howe one lap down at the end of the Daytona 500 back in May. Martin Roberg, some work to do. He's alongside former foe in this Firecracker 400, Christina Ryan. They first ran into each other in this race. Christina Ryan was filling in for Arrowhead Racing in that race, and they both crashed coming to the checker flag in that event. That was season 5. Jason Scott and Zach Meredith in row 13. Row 14, Elias Flores and his Carl Edwards throwback alongside teammate Brady Smith. Aiden Fitzpatrick, his debut. He'll start 29th for it alongside Kalen Height, 19-time race winner, 2-time pole sitter, only 30th on the grid here for Height tonight. Josh Arnold and his Bojangles throwback to the Kodak Dodge of Ryan Newman in the Penske racing car of 2008. Alongside Hunter Whitlock filling in for DJ Anderson for NFG Motorsports. Olivia Pereira alongside the schemeless Richard Odie, very peculiar still. They're in row 17 together. Row 18, Angel Santiago alongside Dustin Hall. Neither of them set qualifying times. Neither did Bren Roberts or James Wright. In row 19, 38 cars. This is your final row. James Wright leading the field from the rear tonight. Two laps of formation. Again, important information to know. All of it is right here. Lap 50 into stage 2, lap 25 into stage 1. All of it should be pretty straightforward. If this race goes green, flag to flag, pillar to post, it will be a 3-stop race. The question is, will it go flag to flag? First Firecracker did not have stage brakes. Could be a huge factor here. A huge shout out to Henderson Graphics, official graphic design partner of ABN Studios. NASCAR quality without NASCAR pricing. A lot of paint schemes go through Henderson Graphics here in HTL, and they all look outstanding here tonight. And also a huge shout out to Advanced. You can use code ABN Studios to save 10% off of every order. They've also got their Labor Day sale going on now through this week. Buy 2, get 1 free over at Advanced. Advanced.gg is the place to be, the official drink supplement provider of ABN. 38 cars. Pressure that can turn diamonds into dust. Orlando Outlaws, front row. Byron Jones, John Matthews, front of the field. We're underway. We're racing for the Firecracker 400. Austin Mongo down below the yellow line. I think he's trying to drop backwards here a little bit as they all cycle just a little bit. Pacey Wygant immediately trying to make some moves, pushing Apperson to the 3 wide outside position. At the front of the field, John Matthews, with support from Mo Perry, leads lap 1 in the Firecracker 400. And they immediately go 3 wide. Steven Oberstadt says he wants to have a piece of that race lead. Pacey Wygant in tow, as is younger brother Patrick Oberstadt. All in the conversation there. Outside lane, Oberstadt leads Wygant down the back straightaway on this second lap. Car left pit lane, had a pit lane start. Brady Smith for incidents from New Hampshire a week ago. Look at Emily Howe, that 15, that Napa Auto Parts machine. Through the middle, pulling away to the front of the inside lane. From outside the top 10, 13th to 2nd, with a chance at the race lead. That was a car through the field. Steven Oberstadt led lap 2. Lap 3 for Dale. Being led currently by Emily Howe in that number 15, Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Bailey Thompson in 2nd. Mo Perry in 3rd. John Matthews in 4th. 3 laps down, 97 to go. And we want to show you something. The speeds being seen here. Front of the field entering turn 1, 202 miles an hour. We want to focus further down the field here. DJ Trout going to be a good example of how the draft is going to work here. They are rapid right now. DJ Trout in traffic, so the pace is going to slow down just a little bit, but still touching over 200 miles an hour. Once you find some clean air and can let it rip, you can go over 210 miles an hour here. Unheard of numbers for the last decade and a half here in Daytona is now reality for the HTL Cup Series. Emily Howe out in front. Bailey Thompson settling for second right now. Finished top 5 in the Daytona 500 earlier this season. Right place to be right now is up near the front of the field, preferably single file. Side by side, working their way forward. That is the 80 of Christina Ryan. Support from Caitlin Height as they all sit in the mix. Caution has come out for the first time, and it looks like it's going to be down with Austin Mongold. It is. And he looks like done for the day. It bails out Brady Smith, who is not far from going a lap down here in the opening 10 laps. He will join the rest of the field here under this caution. Austin Mongold in immediate trouble. Did he blow up? Not seeing a lot of damage on the 81 car. Did he blow up? Looks very possible. Looks like a little bit of rear end damage. So let's take a look here at what happened on Austin Mongold's machine. Clips James Wright. Didn't get a perfect view of that. We'll have to zoom out and grab a second look. And no, that's just straight in front end damage. Straight there to Austin Mongold. Looks like a couple cars involved. Looks like Angel Santiago trying to avoid it. James Wright saves his car in a great way. That was all at the rear of the field. And Austin Mongold will end up being the last classified driver in this race, it looks like. So let's take a look here. This is from the spotter cam. This is above the broadcast booth here in Daytona. We'll do quarter speed, slow motion. And yeah, Mongo just kind of drifts up a little bit. This is at the very tail end of the field. So this is 35th, 36th, and 37th where they're sitting at the moment. They were trying to just sit and ride. Mongo drifts up, tags James Wright, but Mongold's the one that pays for it. And so our caution comes out for the first time tonight for this incident. A lot of takers on pit lane for fuel. Almost all of it fuel only. Your top 5 now at the moment. Christina Ryan, Byron Jones, DJ Trout, Zach Meredith, and Josh Arnold. Your top 10 all stayed out from Christina Ryan down to Caitlin Height. Again, a reminder, points going into this race pretty significant. If we can get the points up there for you. This is how the points entered coming into this race. Emily Howe, Pacey Wygen, Caitlin Height, they're all safe and good. Everyone in blue on the positive side of the cut line, but not locked in yet. Christina Ryan leading this race just above the cut line right now. Has some work to do to try to find safety. Currently leads the race. So on the right side of things tonight. But trying to stay there so far. Easier said than done. As the field gets grouped back together. Mo Perry 11th on the outside looking in by 13 points. Points led a lap here early. Now they're ready to jump back in here. A couple cars coming in late. And we'll drop to the back of the field. Caitlin Height and Bailey Thompson will drop to the tail of the field. A couple others coming down pit lane as well, topping off with fuel. Nick Pressey, Dale Markowski, Angel Santiago, Bren Roberts, all down pit lane for a splash and dash of fuel to get things back rolling. Again, a reminder for those that didn't take part in Countdown to Green with us earlier. Stage 1 ends on lap 25. No stage breaks. So we can race right through it, as we have so often this season. Stage 2 ends on lap 50. Full race distance without overtime. 100 laps for 400 kilometers. Josh Arnold, your defending winner. Some work to do for him, but it's not impossible to make things happen. Christina Ryan at the front of the field alongside pole sitter Byron Jones. DJ Trout in that Robbie Gordon throwback. Love that singular wireless car. A little bit latency there. Had his concern for a moment, but we're all good. DJ Trout will start alongside Zach Meredith in the number 2. Josh Arnold will start alongside Dustin Hall in the number 1. A little bit of spacing on the outside lane, though. Cluster up. You'll see them cluster back together as we get out of turn 4 and get ready for this restart. First caution for Austin Mongold. Re-racks us and gives us 37 on the racetrack for this first restart. Mongold still on pit lane. We'll expect to be there, if not done for the day. Christina Ryan will lead us to the green. Green flag flies, away we go. Very accordion-like restart there. We get away just fine. Christina Ryan gets a little bit better hook up there with DJ Trout. And we're off to the races again. Didn't take long to find 3 wide with this package. 214 miles an hour, the potential. Car in the fence, that's Wesley Worley, the rookie. Got out of the wall there and will slot in front of Josh Susi, it looks like. Behind Emily Howell in the outside lane. Christina Ryan, not wanting to sit behind anybody, goes middle 3 wide and gets help from Howell. Side by side at the front of the field, Hall and Meredith. Familiar foes. Christina Ryan wants to go to the outside lane. Does go to the outside lane. 3 wide for the race lead out of 2. Howell goes to help. Trout goes to help. And they are flying to the front of the field. That's Wesley Worley going for the race lead. Whoa, trouble! Huge hit! And caution's out for the second time. A huge hit. That's the big one on lap 10. Wesley Worley made a very brave move to come down in front of Dustin Hall and got shot right up the racetrack into the side of Mo Perry. And at the front of the field at these speeds, you have nowhere to go in a hurry. That's Pereira, who came to a crawl. But a huge crash on lap 10. Our second caution. Hopefully Mo Perry's okay. This is a race that he needs to do well. Otherwise, this could be the precursor to the curtains closing on his attempt to make the playoffs in his rookie season. He is on the apron. I think that there is some pretty significant damage on that 97. I think that might be day done for Perry. You see the smoke on the apron there. Devastating for Mo Perry. Put himself in the right position, trying to get to the front early. Wesley Worley, a rookie mistake. And we'll take a look at what happened here as cars get ready to come down pit lane. Wesley Worley will be the focal point of this replay as he was at the front of the field when things went down. So let's do quarter speed here on this replay, and it already has started. So we have to zoom out for a hot second here, and we really need a better camera. Thankfully, we got a couple. Chopper cam will give us a good start here. Wesley Worley, third car outside lane, black and yellow, based off the Rusty Wallace Miller Genuine draft car. That's what he's throwing back to in the number 5. Slides down, but overcommits. You see him grab the apron. 2 wheels over the yellow line right as the banking begins. Already off sequence there. already loose. Dustin Hall's trying to check up, as is Byron Jones, his teammate. And just nowhere to go. Not a whole lot for Philip Snipes to do there. Josh Susie, not a whole lot he can do. And everyone just pancakes into that. That is Hunter Whitlock, Kevin Gibney Jr. all in the mix there. Markowski, the 09, the debutant of Aiden Fitzpatrick in this. The 99 of Elias Flores in this. Everyone trying to avoid that. Pereira hits the grass, making desperate avoiding action there. James Wright, does he make avoiding action? Yes, he does. Blake Henderson tries the pivot in between the two. A little bit of contact there. Shouldn't affect Henderson too awful badly. But a complete traffic jam into turn 3 there. Worley just overcommitting and missing the mark altogether. And typically that's not something that happens on occasion. On lap 10, as a rookie driver, this is your first plate race with the Cup Series field. Wrong place to be making those moves. Wrong time to be making those moves. Especially not having done this racing with this field before. And the HTL Cup Series officials are not going to take that one lightly. A lot of good equity for Wesley Worley from his Challenger Series performances. Really flushed down the tubes there in one bad move. And that's unfortunate. Christina Ryan, Emily Howell, front of the field for this restart. A lot of cars getting repair work done. Josh Susie still on pit lane. His second attempt to race for Arrowhead Racing. He's already gone 1 lap down. Austin Mongol 7 laps down, though. Susie can get himself back on the racetrack here. He would be the free pass recipient. But it could be curtains for him for the second time. A lot of cars with damage still. And you'll see them come in the screen here momentarily. You see some of them catching up to the field, getting ready to go green for a second restart of the night. Josh Susie is back out on the racetrack, so he will be only 1 lap down. Another quick caution would put him back on the lead lap, as long as he's not in it. That's the big thing. Our betting odds going into this race, those are not the betting odds. We'll talk about betting odds on the next caution, I think. As we get ready to go back racing here. We tried to. There we go. We got them. We'll talk about them once we go green. Christina Ryan, Emily Howell, front of the board. They will lead the field to green here on this second restart of the night to kick off lap 14 in the Firecracker 400. We're back underway. Caitlin Height, Blake Henderson, Bren Roberts, your top 3 on the betting odds here. Presented by ABN Sportsbook. Josh Susie, Emily Howell, your top 5. Obviously, Christina Ryan in that top 10 for your betting odds as well. A lot of drivers looking to defy those odds here tonight. It's the roommates side by side, Hal and Ryan, front and center in this field as we come around turn 4 to complete lap 14. Car out of line. Looks like that might have been Eli Sasek. Emily Howell leads the lap with support from Militia Racing Club. There they are. The 2 and the 12 outside lane ahead of Alfred Denny. Caitlin Height in the mix as well in that outside lane. Inside lane, sort of getting left backwards a little bit here. Ryan, Hall, and Trout. Got a real big surge out of turn 2. Ryan back to the front of the field and a huge push from Dustin Hall. A little bit of side draft going on here. Emily Howell closing in on the inside lane. A lot to talk about there. Side drafting. These cars very aero sensitive. You can take the air off of the side of the car by just leaning in a little bit and getting close to them. Acts like a parachute. Pulls back the car you're beside. Emily Howe couldn't do that to Dustin Hall. Held DJ Trout back a little bit there. Dustin Hall thought about jumping topside, decides to stay on the inside lane behind Ryan. Emily Howe trying to hopscotch her way back to the front. We'll see how that pans out. Philip Snipes has lost the draft well and truly, still wounded from that caution on lap 10. Josh Soucy likewise still wounded in that Tabasco Fiasco car. Unfortunate where he's been. Lap 16 coming around to be completed. Christina Ryan out in front. Says she was not going to be denied like she was in Daytona. Frustrated with how the season has gone. Missed opportunities to win races for the 80. Decided to take no prisoners. We saw that earlier at the start of this race, and she found her way to the front of the field quickly. Third lane building further back. Car spun. Worley again. Wesley Worley again has spun and has come to a stop. And a huge hit on the inside wall. And Worley's day, if it wasn't already done, it is now. Huge hit for Wesley Worley. Christina Ryan out in front. Emily Howe on the outside lane, trying to grab that race lead back. Here comes the 21 Alfred Denny. That's Sitco, Wood Brothers machine. Tagged the fence, got held back, and will now slide backwards. Tried to go 3 wide, lost support, hit the wall. Stephen Oberstadt said no thanks. And now Stephen Oberstadt sits behind the 12 of Josh Arnold. Coming to complete lap 18 here. Wesley Worley's day is done off the Mongold, still in pit lane, hoping to get back on the racetrack. Josh Soucy, only car on the racetrack, 1 lap down. 35 on the racetrack on the lead lap. Down to Philip Snipes, who's not going to be in the lead lap for very long. There he is on the back straightaway. They're entering turns 1 and 2 right now, and it's Zach Meredith in front. Emily Howe came down in front of Christina Ryan, trying to hook back together and work together there. And the teammates lead the outside lane. Meredith watched Josh Arnold win last week in New Hampshire. Meredith trying to turn the other cheek and grab a race win here in Daytona. He's one of many that have not won in HTL's Daytona races, either the 500 or the 400. Trying to change that trajectory. Those in the outside lane hoping the inside 2 lanes side draft each other more, as it gives you more space for a third lane. Philip Snipes sees the pack coming down on the apron. Will get out of the way. He will join teammate Josh Soucy a lap down. Snipes very wisely out of the way. He is just going to the next caution to get some more repair work done on that 11. Emily Howe, likewise, with Christina Ryan and Dustin Hall in tow, have gotten to the front of the field and have broken away single file. DJ Trout in tow in fourth, right there with them. Keep an eye on those further back. Josh Arnold, middle 3 wide now. John Matthews leading the outside lane. The cavalry has arrived on that third lane. And that's Mo Perry behind him. Big time move there. Everyone moving around, moving and shaking here in a big way. And I think I misspoke. I don't think that's John Matthews. We're looking at him right now. That's Blake Henderson. That was Blake Henderson with Mo Perry. Henderson's trying to stay outside lane. He doesn't want to deal with it right now. The inside lane is now jam-packed. And both the middle and the outside lane have fallen apart. Pacey Wygent now leads the middle lane with support from teammate Mo Perry. Whoa, Henderson gets turned. Denny's in it. Third caution of the night. It's a huge crash. 4 cars involved. Whitlock spins in sympathy. Brady Smith also involved here. And there you see him. I believe Pereira may have also been a part of it. I'm not sure if it was Pereira or Denny. I saw another car involved in that. It might have been Santiago. Third caution of the night. Santiago, I think, is nursing some damage there in that 35 car. So third caution here. The stage does come to a close. Emily Howell wins stage 1 over Christina Ryan and Dustin Hall and DJ Trout. So let's take a look here at what happened. It was Santiago pushing Blake Henderson there at the end. Did Henderson just break loose? 100% he does. Just breaks loose. Brings up Brady Smith. And all 4 of them just eat the fence in a hard way. Alfredini, the 21. That heartbreaking for him. Because he's usually so strong here at Daytona. And for it to grab 2 teammates like that, Blake Henderson also involved. Just devastating overall. You saw Brady Smith there also in the fence. With a lot of work to do. Pit stop's underway. Stage is over. Dustin Hall missed his pit box. He will have to come back down pit lane to top off with fuel. Dustin Hall missed his pit box and will have to roll back through. Emily Howell will inherit the lead of this race once again. Philip Snipes was the free pass recipient. He had just gone a lap down. And so he is now back on the lead lap. He will come down pit lane, get some more repair work done on that 11. Rinse and repeat for the Tennessee native. Representing his alma mater, the Tennessee Volunteers. Josh Susi on pit lane, still getting some more repair work done on that number 16 Tabasco Fiasco, living up to its name, unfortunately. But he's on pit lane, getting more repair work done. He's still a lap down. He's the only car 1 lap down right now. So things kind of work out for him as things currently sit. Dustin Hall in front. Will need to come back down pit lane. Dustin Hall coming back down pit lane. His other teammates will follow through with him. Patrick Oberstadt does at least, and will also come down pit lane to get some work done. Josh Susi back on the racetrack. 1 lap down. No longer alone, being 1 lap down with other cars on pit lane. Getting some work done. Blake Henderson, Alfred Denny, they're going to try to get back on this racetrack because they know the chaos that is still possible as we get ready for stage number 2. That'll begin on the nose, lap 26. Third restart coming up. Emily Howe, Pacey Wygant, front of the field as we get ready to roll. As we get ready to go back racing on lap 26. Appreciate you spending your Monday night with us here on ABN. Join us again on Thursday for the finale of the Crown Athletics IndyCar Series in Fontana. That's Thursday, 8 p.m. right here on YouTube. As we get ready to go back racing here in Daytona for the HTL Cup Series Firecracker 400. Emily Howe, your Stage 1 winner alongside Pacey Wygant. It's time to get back to business. Pace car is in. Green flag is back out. Away we go. Sun is setting. Lights about to come on here at the World Center of Racing. And we're already flying out of turn 2. And we are already up to 190 down the back straightaway. 193, 194. Pacey Wygant even faster. Almost 200 miles an hour for their front 2 entering turn 3. Car drops down in front. Christina Ryan. Pacey Wygant led that lap. Christina Ryan wants that lap back. Christina Ryan wants to take the lead and will do so with support from Emily Howe. Blue Jade behind Pacey Wygant, not wanting to work with the 00. A lot of animosity between Outlaws and Pacey Wygant. A lot of that stemming from outside HTL, but we've seen it spar off several times here in HTL. And that's where they're sitting right now. Side by side, it is John Matthews and Wygant. Inside lane getting a lot of headwind here. And Matthews gets clear of Wygant as well. Here comes Tucker Sawyer. A plate race winner here in HTL at Talladega. Has never won at Daytona. Could that change? He's in a good spot right now, top 5 for the reigning ABN World Champion. As he sits in the 4th position right now, all in the inside lane. I believe that's Caitlin out in the outside lane. It is. Your advanced onboard of Caitlin Height. Her 109th start, looking for race win number 20. And she rides in the outside lane. We ride along with her. See how low the cars are to the ground. No minimum ride height like we did for the Daytona 500. Car in the fence. That's Pereira. And Caitlin Height had to check out of it well and truly. Things change quickly, and it is scary. Billy Thompson not far behind, another Japanese throwback scheme in 20th right now. Make that 19th, working the outside lane, now back down to 2 lanes. As Thompson works behind Caitlin Height directly right now. The 13 to 27 working together. James Wright, Arrowhead Racing to the left side of the screen. Right now behind the debutante of Aiden Fitzpatrick. Front of the field, Christina Ryan still leads the way. 24th start tonight in the HTL Cup Series. Still looking for race win number 1. Huge surge to the front by John Matthews. Also looking for his first race win. "70 laps to go. John Matthews gets out to the front. Wygant in support. Roll through the tri-oval here. Three wide again. A couple cars further back there. That is Steven Oberstadt, one of them. Steven and Patrick, both brothers. Dale Markowski joins them. So Beagle Denny Racing outside lane now is how they sit. Outside lane just not really getting anywhere right now. Despite Beagle Denny Racing's best efforts, just not really making any headway there. Christina Ryan out in front on the inside lane, being pushed by Emily Howe. Still being challenged for the race lead by John Matthews and Pacey Wygant on the outside lane. We're back down the 2 lanes side by side, and Matthews gets the advantage into 3. You heard the sound of a car about to go a lap down. It's Philip Snipes for the second time tonight. And he's not going to have to worry about it in this. There's a crash further back, and that's a big one as well. Once again in 3 and 4, over a dozen cars. Flores, Jade, Apperson, Gibney, Santiago, Pressy all involved in this, and Blue Jade's day is done. Josh Susi, I believe, will be the free pass recipient in the 16. Maybe. We'll take a look here. But it's all going to start with Blue Jade. So let's take a look at what happened to the 34. Wow, this is actually starts at the front with John Matthews. Tags Christina Ryan. Wygant turning this 98 saves Emily Howe. Because Matthews goes right up the fence. Apperson just can't keep hold of that car. Smacks the wall hard into turn 4. Caitlin Height gets a piece of it. James Wright gets a piece of it. Almost goes up and over. The 09 of Fitzpatrick. Gibney involved again. Flores involved again. Odie goes for a half slide there. Santiago tries to avoid it. Pressy spins trying to avoid it. Sasek spins. Trouble all the way around here. And again, it's in 3 and 4. The trouble turns have reared their head here at Daytona, our 4th caution of the night. And it's a parking lot as you see everyone moving in quarter speed, slow motion here. Susi not involved in this, should be the free pass recipient. Yes, he was the only car 1 lap down on the racetrack. Philip Snipes gets saved by the bell as well. And indeed, Josh Susi is the man with the plan, and it worked out for him. You still see the damage on that 16 car, that Tabasco Fiasco machine. but he'll have more time on pit lane and will be able to stay on the lead lap. Same with his teammate, Philip Snipes. So DJ Trout inherits the race lead here over Josh Arnold, Zach Meredith, and Patrick Oberstadt. Emily Howe down in 7th, along with Pacey Wygent, just came down for a top off of fuel here. And I do want to take a second to ride on board here with Emily Howe. This advanced sponsored on board here. You're going to see how close this almost was to being a complete day ender. Normally, when you lose a car like that, it's a roadblock. Emily Howe got bailed out, saved by the bell on that in a massive way. Zach Apperson, not so lucky in this exchange. This onboard sponsored by Henderson Graphics. And you're going to see he almost gets through this, and then it all goes wrong. A lot of damage on the number 4 machine. Thompson involved as well. You can hear the suspension rattling as he slid down the racetrack. Not a great feeling. On board with Thompson. Overall, just a really, really bad day in the office there. Getting ready to go back green. 15 to go right now in stage 2. That ends on lap 50. DJ Trout, Josh Arnold, Zach Meredith, Patrick Oberstadt, your top 4. Dustin Hall in 5th. Pacey Wygent 6th. Is how they sit right now. A lot more cars now down pit lane for repairs. Olivia Pereira a lap down. Zach Apperson coming back down for repairs here. Likely day done for Apperson here. Tucker Sawyer, Aiden Fitzpatrick already multiple laps down. Blue Jays day effectively over. Blake Henderson back out on the racetrack after 15 minutes on the pit lane. His car is back out and in the running here. Almost virtually reconstructed is the 25. As he gets ready to go back racing here. He is 12 laps down. Alfred Denny still on pit lane. But it's in the hands of DJ Trout and Josh Arnold, the front of the field, for this restart. Green flag flies. We're back underway. 4th restart of the night. Howe and Ryan now working on the outside lane as Trout leads Meredith and Dustin Hall. Oh, trouble. Sasek turned, and another caution, our 5th. Josh Susi slowed all the way to a stop to avoid getting involved in that situation. Smart move by the 16. Sasek got turned across the field there, and we'll need to take a look at what happened. Our 5th caution the night, and it has been in bunches here. A very rough race here in Daytona, and we wondered if that'd be the case. The increased power we did not see at Daytona. We saw it at Talladega, where there's a lot more space, a lot more room to stretch your legs and really use that full power, that full 610 horsepower, to make things make sense. Daytona is not a 5-lane racetrack. It's 3 if you're lucky and smart. And there's not been a lot of luck, that is for sure, in how tonight has run so far for several drivers. So we'll look high above quarter speed. Eli Sasek is in the inside lane, and it looks like it might be off the nose of Emily Howe here, being pushed by Christina Ryan. Arnold just gets hooked. Emily Howe gets turned as well. Christina Ryan does not lift in that situation. Emily Howe hard hit to the wall as well. Looks like still on pit lanes with some repair work being done, I do believe. Yes, that is the case. But you see the damage that sort of happens afterwards. Weidman gets turned. Flores gets turned for the 3rd time the day. Byron Jones gets lucky. You see so many cars trying to slow down and really get slowed down because a lot of these cars that are further back have already been damaged in this race. Susi, Height, Pressey, Matthews, already involved in incidents in this race. Sasek just came to a stop and just let it sit there for a moment. Not a bad idea. We want to take a look here at Christina Ryan, who really pushed through this as she said she was going to. She said she was going to be a menace tonight. And that's exactly what happened. Let's take a look. Didn't get through that unscathed either, importantly. Let's try on board with Elias Flores. Doesn't look like a lot of damage, but it could be consequential damage there. One holds the brakes and does a smart thing there. Let the field just roll through. Phillips Knives has to go through the grass. Look at Josh Arnold's on board here. Not a whole lot he can do in that situation. You're along for the ride all the way through. Gets tagged again. Up the racetrack he goes. You see Susie just come to a stop. Finally, Emily Howe with the ABN, the advanced on board. That's a pretty hit. That's a pretty big hit for Emily Howe. And she felt it immediately. Getting ready to go back racing here. Everyone trying to get themselves lined up and in order here. Coming to 9 to go in stage 2. "29 cars on the lead lap. Zach Apperson 5 laps down. That's your closest car to the lead lap. Going to need a lot of free passes to get back on the lead lap from there. Wesley Worley 6 laps down on the racetrack once again, circulating. Tucker Sawyer also circulating back on the lead lap. Blue Jade's day is done. Aiden Fitzpatrick on pit lane, has been on pit lane now for 13 minutes. Alfred Denny still on pit lane, has been on pit lane now for 23 minutes. Brady Smith's day officially over at 22 laps in the books. Austin Mongold, only 5 laps completed. Still on pit lane, not officially withdrawn from this race. So a chance that the number 81 could come back onto the racetrack here. DJ Trout, Dustin Hall lead the field to green for this, your 5th restart of the night. Zach Meredith, Steven Oberstadt, row 2. The green flag flies, and we're back underway here in Daytona. Christina Ryan still in the top 5. Did not come down pit lane under that yellow. And gets around former teammate Dustin Hall. Hall drops down to 4th, gets in line on the inside lane ahead of his teammate Steven Oberstadt. Still a lot of teammate play in play. Christina Ryan almost got turned by Hall. Indecisive move to actually go for that decision. Markowski goes to the inside lane and stays there. Does not go with his teammates. Trout leads the way, but here comes Christina Ryan in the Chevy Cavalry behind. Ryan leads lap 42. A lot of wounded race cars, and I have a feeling we're about to add to it before this stage is over. A lot of teams looking for all-out speed instead of stability, and we've seen that bite quite hard already in this race. How much of that can you fix in pit stops here? Wedge adjustments, tire pressure adjustments. How much do you throw at it to find stability? They're already checking up and scattering further back. Meredith leads lap 43. Meredith gets a huge shot from Ryan. Almost spun the 2 out. Another big shot there in the corner between Ryan and Meredith. Christina Ryan goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Meredith tried to cover it off. Way too much speed to be able to do so. Christina Ryan looking for the race lead, trying to get help from DJ Trout. Meredith support from Roberg. And these are huge shots. These are haymakers being thrown in the bump draft parade right now. Lap 44 led by Ryan, but not by much. 3 wide, keeping on that outside lane. Right now it's being led by the 77 of Kevin Gimney Jr. And he's getting turned by Santiago. Our 6th yellow, and the stage is not over. We did not reach 5 to go. We were at 6 to go in stage 2. We wondered, the pushing in the corners has caused so many problems, especially in turns 3 and 4. This time it's turns 1 and 2. A lot of aggression in this race. And you wonder if it'll die down once the stages are over. Somehow, I doubt it. 6th yellow tonight. Average is 7. We've got 6 in 46 laps. Importantly, 6 laps until the end of the stage means that we will have a restart, and the stage will still end on 50 or the next caution, whichever comes first. So there's a lot that we're going to need to deep dive here. Let's look at Kevin Gimney Jr., because that's where it starts. A bad bump to the 77 gets him all sorts of sideways in the checkup mid-corner. as it has been several times tonight. This is the fourth time tonight a checkup in the corners has caused a significant issue. Leads to significant problems. Gibney, for his credit, still top 10, so he didn't bite the hardest bullet of that. But let's still take a look from our handy-dandy chopper cam. 6th caution of the night here in Daytona. And you see it's already started here. We really need to back it up here. And you see Santiago. Teammates there, the 35 and the 77. They are teammates. So there was a reason for Santiago to be hard on the push button there. There was communication between those two teammates. Just heavy on the bumping there into turns 1 and 2. And we've seen this a lot tonight as well. The outside lane, for some reason, very unstable. Those that are already on the ragged edge getting looser and looser. That last contact, though, between Santiago and Gibney is what gets Gibney super loose. You see Thompson there in the middle, makes contact there with Gibney, and it all spawns from there. James Wright tries to save it there. Patrick Oberstadt, not a whole lot that he can do, and they all go up the hill. Josh Arnold gets tagged. Pacey Wygant gets a pretty big hit here by James Wright as he comes back down the hill. Oberstadt pogo sticked. He bounced off the racetrack there and came to a stop. Trying to see who that is that's pointed backwards. Believe that's the 12? That is the 12, the Arnold. And he, oh no. Susie gets a little piece of damage there. Caitlin Height goes through it. The 91, Jason Scott gets a piece of it. Painful crash. Everyone pushing to the end of the stage. Not everyone really in stage point position either. Gibney's not looking for stage points. Santiago's not looking for stage points either. Both of them are part-time drivers. Not even in the owner's conversation right now. So that's all bizarre to me, why you push so hard in that outside lane like that. When you've got nothing in play, you're looking for the race win, you're looking for the big bucks. All of that's confusing to me. And you already know how bad this race has been from a stability standpoint, how that outside lane has been so unstable. Just a lot of question marks. Lining up for a 6th restart tonight, Christina Ryan back out in front with DJ Trout alongside. It'll be Zach Meredith and Dale Markowski in row 2. And the amount of cars that don't have scars and battle wounds is getting fewer and fewer and fewer. And halfway is in a little over 2.5 laps. '23. That is the number of cars that we have on the lead lap right now. Emily Howe going a lap down to get some more damage repair work done. There you see her coming out of pit lane right now after spending almost 3 minutes on pit lane getting some suspension parts replaced on that 15. Zach Averson back out on the racetrack as well. He's in 30th, still 5 laps down. Make that 4 laps down. But the likelihood of him getting another wave around, not very high. Would have to admit there. Cars out of this race include Austin Mongol, Brady Smith, Alfred Denny, Blue Jade, Aiden Fitzpatrick. We're down to 33 left on the racetrack right now. All the way down to Blake Henderson in 33rd. Wesley Worley, Tucker Sawyer, they're on the same lap, but they are well off the lead lap at this point in time. They are both 6 laps down. And there's a lot of cars in front of them that are a lap down that will get a free pass before they do. Pace car pulls in, 6th restart coming up. Christina Ryan and DJ Trout at the front of the field. This is the sprint to the end of stage 2. Green flag flies, and away we go. Meredith trying to get a jump on that restart. stacked up instead. Normally that would cause another caution further back. Not the case here. The question now becomes, do we see stage 2 under the green? Place your bets. Car for the back looking for a way forward. That is Roberg inside lane. Looking at the middle. Nothing really going there. Partly because there's not enough space, but that's not stopped people before. Mostly because there's no support. Trout gets to the front of the field. Here comes Dale Markowski looking for stage win number 2. Byron Jones, your pole sitter, also back in the top 10. He's had a quiet start to this race for the best. White flag, stage 2. Trout and Markowski. Both of them trying to make their way into the playoffs. They need this race desperately. Markowski more than Trout. But both of them on the outside looking in. Side by side, door to door, entering turn number 3. Third line, Josh Susie trying to make his way into the top 10. Not a lot of help there, but he is back in the conversation in that Tabasco Fiasco car. Coming to end stage number 2, Christina Ryan wins the stage. Slice and dice to the front of the field ahead of Markowski and Trout. Trout second, Markowski third. Christina Ryan wins stage 2 and gets to the bottom of the racetrack. She knows how to win at Daytona. She's just not done it in an HTL points event. Not wanting to be denied tonight. She said she was going to put it in her own hands, and we've seen that tonight for better and for worse. Right now, it's been for better, but we've seen that ugly side pop out. Coming to 49 laps to go. The second half in earnest. Caution. Cars in trouble further back. Who was that? Bryn Roberts has had a very quiet race. Looks like it might have been Henderson that spun around backwards. He's the one rolling through the grass right now. Did he get turned a second time? That's going to be depressing if he did. Still looking for his first points win at Daytona, his 16th start here on the high banks. And this is going to suck. Slow motion, quarter speed from our chopper cam. Does he get help? 100% he does. Emily Howe, I'm not sure what happened there with that 15 car. Just gets hooked by Emily Howe. We're going to need to take a second look at that and zoom out to the exit of turn 4. That is undescribable. So what happened to the 15 here? Obviously, damage repair took place for the 15. 1 lap down for the 15. That's Patrick Oberset, the 88, in the middle, being followed by Bryn Roberts, who's supposed to be in the number 8. That's not his normal pace scheme. I'm just looking to see here. We'll grab perspectives for both onboards here. This looks a lot like Emily thought that she was clear. She was waiting for Bryn Roberts to get clear. And had no idea Henderson was there. Well, take a look. The onboards are going to be painful. And for Henderson, this is insult to injury to the highest degree. We'll write his onboard first. He just gets turned. Tucker Sawyer gets a piece of it as well. And he's sitting there in confusion and in anger because this is another Daytona race. Not of his doing, where he's completely thrown out of the window. And that is the most depressing feeling on the planet. Right on board with Emily Howe in the advanced onboard. Just comes down the racetrack thinking that she's clear, and she's not. We'll back it up here for you. This is we did on the overhead shot. Emily Howe just outside lane. She sees the 32, knows Bren Roberts there. That's the only thing I can possibly decipher that as being. As she thought she was clear, didn't hear that there was still a car inside until she saw him come across the nose. That's the only thing I've got. It's unimaginable. And if you're Henderson, you are livid right now. That's a gut punch. 7th caution. And that one, just like the first with Austin Mongold, completely avoidable. I'd argue all of them can be. Those two especially. Those are bad ones. Most cautions we've had so far this season, 12. New Hampshire, last week. We might see or surpass that with our current trajectory. 7 cautions and 54 laps is not a good omen. That is a caution every 7 laps. Less than every 7 laps at this point. Christina Ryan, Dale Markowski, once again in front of the field. Josh Soucy in that Tabasco fiasco. After going a lap down from the incident on lap 10, has worked his way not only back on the lead lap, but back up into the top 5. He's in 3rd, alongside Bailey Thompson, who's also had a rough race. And rough race is a top 5. Results do not make a race good or bad. It is the journey in between. DJ Trout alongside Josh Arnold, row 3. That's your top 6. The green flag is back out. 7th restart underway. Christina Ryan leapfrogged pretty quickly there. Markowski and Thompson hooked up and got to the front, 1st and 2nd, but here comes once again Josh Arnold, the number 12. Talk about cars that have been bounced around in this race. It has been rough for Josh Arnold, but he's still kicking in the top 5, leading the outside lane with support from Martin Roberg and the pole sitter Byron Jones. You see the huge string of cars that with various levels of damage just trying to hang in there and be a part of the conversation right now. It has been a long night already, and we have just crossed the halfway point. 45 laps to go. Thompson leads lap 56. A lot of cars struggling to hang in there. Pressy, the first of those on the fringe of losing the draft. A lot of single file, though, at the back there. We're at the position where fuel save might be a factor. It shouldn't be. It should be an easy one stop to the end race here. Unless they're taking it easy, because we hypothesized this. 7 cautions early in this race in the first half. Was that because of the stage points? Are things going to calm down now in the second half? So far, we're seeing that the race has calmed down. Is that the damage effect, or are drivers now focusing on lap 100? Are they no longer focusing on lap 25 or lap 50? Is that what we're seeing tonight? That is, I think, a huge question right now. Obviously, still some in this fight. Thompson on the slid backwards, though, with Christina Ryan in tow on that outside lane. Markowski and Susie leading the inside lane. With the Tabasco fiasco having its day in the sun, finally. DJ Trout in third. Richard Odie in that paint scheme list, number 78, unusually sitting in the top 5. Bailey Thompson trying to move back forward, support from Christina Ryan. And I believe Josh Arnold. It is. A lot of throwback schemes in the wind here, including the 2 at the front of the field. Really, your entire top 4 are right now. Markowski, Susie, Thompson, and Trout are all throwback schemes. Hunter Whitlock has retired from this race, it looks like here. So add that to the retirement list. A long list at this point in this race. It looks like I thought we'd heard a car in the fence. Unless I was my hearing is deceived me. I think what we're hearing is the latency there for, I believe that's Angel Santiago. It is Santiago, who's a lap down. We heard scraping. It was the floor scraping for Santiago in his latency. But he is still rolling at the back of the field right now. Markowski still leads. Remember, he lost his first HTL Cup Series win. Had it in his fingertips, lost by 8 milliseconds at this racetrack 2 seasons ago. He knows how to get things done here. He just needs a little bit of luck and a little bit of fortune to fall his way. Driving the number 7, made famous by the late Alan Kulwicki. 2 cars straight from the 90s, leading that inside lane. The 92 Hooters, number 7. And the number 90, 1998 inspired Tabasco fiasco, the number 16 of Josh Susie. Once upon a time, I was supposed to be in that 16 car for this race. Was unable to find someone to cover me here in the broadcast booth, so if there's anyone you want in that 16 car, Josh Susie, a 2-time Cup Series champion, would be the right guy to have. And exactly that's what's happening right now. Josh Susie worked from a lap down, back up to the top 2. DJ Trout behind him. Bailey Thompson, top 5 in the Daytona 500 earlier this season. Support from Christina Ryan, teammates there on the outside lane. With less than 40 to go, still a pit stop sequence to make here. There's Hunter Whitlock, the 19. So he is back out on the racetrack. A technical issue has not kept him from being back on the racetrack. The 2x2 formation avoids him pretty well. He will get some draft and join the tail end of this field. 23 on the lead lap. First car lap down, Emily Howe, and she is in this line behind Steven Oberstadt, who's 21st. A lot of single file cars at this particular point in time, but it's all further back in the field. The front of the field still contesting for the race lead. Everyone has a pit stop to go in this race. We're on lap 64 here in the HTL Firecracker 400. Bailey Thompson on that surge outside lane has found some momentum. Christina Ryan, Josh Arnold, and Martin Roberg, the top four in that outside lane, and the teammates get to the bottom of the racetrack. That's where they're the most comfortable, and they're now out in front, Thompson and Ryan. Thompson already a race winner, the streets of Chicago. 2 seasons ago, last season. My apologies, last season. It feels like an eternity. Only a season to go. Christina Ryan still looking for her first race win. Bailey Thompson's stats entering the night, her 108th start tonight. No poles, but that one win in Chicago, doing a lot of carrying. 13 top 5s, 30 top 10s, but it has been a famine of a season for the 27. Over a race out of the chase cut line here in the HTL Cup Series. A win would still not be enough, but would be helpful. That's Henderson coming back down pit lane, trying to get some more damage repaired on that 25 car. Thompson out in front, though, on 108 starts. Christina Ryan, 24 starts. 5 top 5s, 11 top 10s in her HTL Cup Series career. Very brief Cup Series career. But she has been a top 10 driver most of this campaign, and you're seeing that tonight. Dale Markowski, 52nd start for him tonight, still looking for that first win. 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Finished on the podium in Homestead 2 weeks ago. Currently sitting back on the podium steps right now in third. Josh Susie in fourth. This is his 99th start. His next start will be his 100th for the two-time Cup Series champion. 16 wins, 3 shy of the all-time record set by Caitlin Height. 38 top 5s, 56 top 10s. Plate tracks have been his weak suit, but he is a former Daytona 500 winner. See cars getting shuffled back. I believe that's John Matthews. Everyone keeps it going in the right direction, so we stay green. Josh Arnold in 5th. 5 race wins, including a week ago in New Hampshire. He's also won this race, the defending winner of this race. Josh Arnold with 2 poles as well, his 107th start. Can he find victory lane again here at Daytona? Then you have DJ Trout looking for his first Cup Series win. He won in the National Series. He's won in the Challenger Series. Can he win in Cup? That's the big question. His best chance comes next week at the road course here at Daytona. But he's also in a good spot here. Qualified well for the Firecracker 400 tonight. Can he finish well? Top 6. He's been top 10 most of the night. Dustin Hall in 7th. Doing a great job. 97th start for him. He is not far from 100 starts. 9 wins, including 2 this season. Can he find race win number 3? It's been difficult. Most of his wins have been away from the plate tracks. He's leading the outside lane, and it's not working very well. He's sliding backwards. But still a lot of time and a lot of laps left to go here in Daytona. He's got support from the 32. The 32 on the racetrack gets the 8 on our overlay. And he gets turned. He gets turned off the nose of Bren Roberts. That was Mo Perry that went to the inside lane, and he's hit the fence. Has he hit the fence? Eighth caution of the night. This will be interesting. There'll be some fuel saving if they're going to make it to the end from here. There's got to be a decent amount of fuel saving to get there. Let's take a look. This is on board with Dustin Hall. You see him just get turned off the nose of Bren Roberts here. Right on board with Bryn Roberts here in a second. And here you go, Bryn Robertson, the number 8 machine. I hope Mo Perry got lucky enough to not hit the fence. Looks like he might hit it just a little bit. We'll look at him next. On board with the 97 of Mo Perry. He's had a rough night as well. And Mo Perry, he doesn't really spin. He might have got turned off somebody's nose. He didn't tag the wall. What a save by Mo Perry. My goodness, that was outstanding. That was right now, that's move of the race right there. That's outstanding. That's great. So let's take a look at the cause of this caution, really in earnest. And we'll have to look at Dustin Hall here, our 8th caution of the night. Just a bad bump here. Again, in the corner. These cars are so unstable. You saw the sparks flying as well. We'll talk about that in a second. But just gets turned off the nose of Bryn Robertson and into the path of Eli Sasek. And Mo Perry, I think, locks it up, trying to avoid hitting Byron Jones and Kevin Gibney Jr. I don't think he got helped there. I think he just locked the brakes, just trying to slow down. So not a lot of damage there for Dustin Hall. Hopefully not a lot of damage for Eli Sasek. Mo Perry with an incredible... That's clutch right there. That's outstanding. That's one of the better wall avoidances I've seen in a very long time. That's a round of applause. That's outstanding. 100%. Our 8th caution, not a lot of damage caused by it. A lot of cars came down pit lane, but there's a lot of fuel save that needs to be done here. Hunter Whitlock trying to get the wave around. Same with Zach Apperson. They're in front of the race leaders, and I believe there's one more car in front. I believe that's Henderson. It is, the 25. Also trying to get one lap back here. The wave around will come with 1 to green, and it will join at the tail end of this field. I believe your free pass was Emily Howe. It was, the 15. So I believe we now have 24 cars on the lead lap. We do. Angel Santiago 1 lap down. If another caution comes out and he's not involved, he'll be your free pass. Coming to 29 laps to go. We appreciate everyone watching with us tonight. A wonderful Monday night of racing. Tomorrow night is empty, only for 1 more week. The Challenger Series kicks off next Tuesday, September 8th, here at Daytona. We hope you join us for that race as well. We hope you join us on Thursday. The HTL Cup Series campaign heads to Daytona next Monday. In between then, we go to California for a race at Fontana. The Kart Grand Athletics IndyCar Series ends its 5th season in California, in the shadows of LA. That's again Thursday here on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For those watching along with us around the world, less than 30 to go. It's been a while since we've done this. We're going to hopefully get a green flag run in here. When we go back racing, we're going to get to crank it up for the first time in a while. In the meantime, if there's anyone that you think has a shot to win this race, make those predictions in the chat, whether you're watching this on Patreon or on YouTube. And also take a chance to visit our sponsor, Advanced. Labor Day sale going on now. Started today, goes all the way through next Monday. Buy 2, get 1 free. Tell them Carmen sent you. Who have you got to win this race? Coming to 29 laps to go. Teammates front and center in this field. Bailey Thompson, Christina Ryan, Out in front, the green flag flies. Our 8th restart is underway. Caution for the 9th time tonight. As we ride on board there with Josh Susie. Several cars involved once again in this 9th caution. Christina Ryan, Kevin Gibney Jr., Wesley Worley, Byron Jones, Olivia Pereira, and others on that list of cars involved. So this stems from the front of the field. Josh Arnold's day looks like it might be over. With 25 laps to go. So let's take a look from our handy dandy chopper cam. And it does start well up front. That is Richard Odie making contact with Martin Roberg. And this is who you see get shot up the racetrack there. A huge hit. James Wright gets away relatively unscathed there in the 14. Christina Ryan gets hooked and turned right up the racetrack into Pereira. And this is where Kevin Gibney Jr. gets involved there. Oh, this is going to hurt. Again, a good dozen cars involved in this. And it really stems from Richard Odie. And we need to back it up here a second because it looks like he might be trying to come down the racetrack, I think. Oh, I think 100% he does. He's trying to follow Dale Markowski. Keep it on the 78. Bottom center of your screen, right behind the 7 of Markowski. Does he get a shot from James Wright? Or does he try following the 7 down the racetrack? He tries following Markowski down the racetrack 100%. James Wright doesn't touch him. And James Wright, he makes avoiding action. He goes up into the fence preemptively because he expects what's about to happen sooner. And Roberg takes a solid shot. Christina Ryan gets hit by DJ Trout and just gets bulldozed through there. Pereira gets a piece of it. A lot of trouble there. A lot of cars banged up there in that. Cressy gets spun. We're not going to have any clean race cars left in this race. Let's right on board Casino Ryan. It happens quick, and it doesn't seem like much, but that last contact with John Matthews does a lot of damage. One to guarantee that. Sack down on the apron there and gets turned around. Likewise, Kevin Gibney Jr. right here gets helped from behind as well. Up into the fence goes the 77, who despite that still 14th in this race. So it could be worse for him. Wesley Worley's had a rough day, multiple laps down. What happens to him? Does he get helped? No, he just locks it up. He did a great job locking it up. Unfortunately, Martin Roberg does not hold the brakes at all. He comes down in front of his teammate, in front of his team boss, actually. That's a little embarrassing. How about Byron Jones? He's already gung-ho, but he gets turned by someone else who's also going gung-ho. You see a lot of cars just trying to get themselves back rolling. Gibney had to back up and get himself refired. How about on board Pereira? You see it's already started here when Pereira gets involved in this. Goes up the racetrack immediately and just gets absolutely pulverized. Contact with Jason Scott, teammate for good measure. Andy Lysasik for even better measure. Some pretty nasty hits. Ninth restart coming up here. James Wright at the front of the field alongside Dale Markowski. Fever Dream at the front of the field. We're going to try this again. We're going to go and complete our Crank It Up, courtesy of Patreon, on this restart. And we'll see how these next couple laps go. We'll ride on board with your race leader, James Wright, as we get ready for this restart. Ninth restart coming up. Less than 25 to go here in Daytona. The green flag flies. We're back underway. Coming to 19 to go here in the Firecracker 400. Markowski out in front. Josh Susie leading the outside lane with support from Bailey Thompson. Brent Roberts has made his presence known now, officially in the top 5 with those 19 laps to go. Markowski still out in front. His teammate, Brent Roberts, behind him. Zach Meredith in third. The best Toyota right now. Thompson, your best Ford at the moment. Everyone had a chance to come down pit lane on lap 76. The belief is that with the cautions we've had, we are now good to go for a finish if it ends on lap 100. If we get overtime, things will be a little bit different. Right now, Markowski leads over Roberts, over Zach Meredith. DJ Trout on the inside lane, working fourth alongside Josh Susie right now. Mo Perry still in the mix as well, in sixth. He's trying to recover a good result here. He's had a couple of pretty big spins. Susie's car, remember, not 100%. Is it good enough to lead the field right now? A lot of wounded cars in this field. Markowski's not one of them. Is that the advantage right now? James Wright, he has a little bit of damage on the 14. He didn't come in to get that fixed. Is that right now the difference between the outside and the inside lane? Are the outside lane cars better at pushing right now? James Wright goes to the outside. That's an Arrowhead outside lane right now. That's Snipes, Hal, and James Wright all on the outer groove. Does Josh Susie go with? Potentially. Christina Ryan goes from the middle lane to the bottom. Oh, huge contact! Huge contact! Thompson gets turned. Cressy gets turned. 10th yellow tonight. It's another stack up into turn 1 this time. Coming to 15 to go. 10th yellow of the evening. James Wright got turned by Emily Howell. They were pushing pretty hard going into turn 1, and it didn't pay out. Here's a look from high above, and you're going to see how this plays out. It's an unsettled bump there, out of the tri-oval, really. Tags Thompson back up towards the fence. Thompson bounces off of Pressey. Close call there for Kevin Gibney Jr. Just unfortunate all the way through there. And this is unfortunate. James Wright out of control still, tags Byron Jones and gets tagged by John Matthews, who also gets Emily Howell for good measure. That's a hard impact with the wall there. That outer impact is pretty tough. And once again, the cars scramble. And we'll take a look here, and we really want to zoom in out to the start of the lap, because they're all trying to get up to Josh Susie. Josh Susie thinking about jumping up there to the outer lane to work with his teammates there. And you just don't have any time to do that. And right on board with Emily Howell, pushing like mad to try to make up ground. And you're going to see here, this little pivot to the inside lane as she's pushing James Wright is enough to unsettle his car, going from right to left. Gets Wright unsettled there. Pretty hard impact all the way through. Thompson gets a pretty hard impact there from Wright. So more damage there for Emily Howes, number 15 car. Still top 10 right now. Did not come down pit lane for repairs this go around. So a lot of cars on pit lane for repair work. John Matthews, Nick Pressey, Bailey Thompson, Christina Ryan, Richard Odie, Angel Santiago, James Wright, Byron Jones. All with repair work to do. Hunter Whitlock, your free pass. 22nd for the Virginia native for NFG Motorsports. Started this race in 32nd. 10 spots gained, but still several laps down. Looks like he is now 2 laps down. Dale Markowski out in front. Brendan Roberts, Zach Meredith, DJ Trout, Dustin Hall, your top 5 here in the Firecracker 400, our 10th caution of the night. Coming to 13 laps to go. Coming to one degree, and a huge shout out to our premier tier patrons over at patreon.com/ABN Studios. Trade up slogan, Dogman 2935, Eli Sasek, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Tubby 22, Philip Snipes, Tyler Head, B-Dogs, Colin McDonough, Blue, KJ Gibney, J. Paul, Jake Potak, and June. Most of you are celebrating anniversaries for your Patreon subscription this week. We greatly support your support. We appreciate your support. Let me try that again in English. If you want your name shouted out, pretty straightforward to do. It's in the description down below, the link to patreon.com/ABN Studios. If you're watching this and you have the ability to scan a QR code, you can do that too. It's on your screen now. We got ABN Unplugged podcast coming up on Wednesday. Board Game Club coming up on Friday. We get race previews every week for HTL. High Octane Cup Series begins this month, or begins in September. A lot of archives going up this month as well. A lot of exclusive content and support ABN. Especially as we go through this pancreatic cancer battle. All the support so far has been greatly appreciated. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Getting ready to go back racing here for our 10th restart of the night. For those just now jumping in here, 10:19 on the East Coast, 7:19 on the Pacific Coast. I'm Carmen Sienna. We're glad you're with us here for HTL on ABN Mondays, the Firecracker 400, the 8th edition. It's been a very physical, a very messy race. Everyone trying to scramble for a chance to win here at Daytona. The green flag flies. Our 10th restart is underway. Markowski with a monster jump, trying to work with his teammates. Not a great restart there for Dustin Hall. Pretty messy restart there. So we are back underway. $12 to go here in Daytona. In regulation. Ben Roberts in second, supporting Dale Markowski once more. Here comes Patrick Oberstadt. He has been the bridesmaid so many times. Can he win one here in Daytona? Teammates leading both lanes. Beagle Denny Racing is in full pursuit right now. Kevin Gibney Jr. got checked up there behind Dustin Hall. Here comes Patrick Oberstadt, left his teammate on the outside lane. Dustin Hall left out the drive. Coming to 10 to go. If you're going to place your bets, place them now. This is the last call. I don't think we've seen the last caution. A lot of cars in trouble in this race. Still a lot of cars in fight. 10 to go here in Daytona. This is going to be a wild run to the finish. The question is, do we have an interruption before we get there? Teammates first, second, and third on the inside lane. Patrick Oberstadt, Dale Markowski, and Bryn Roberts, your top three. Here comes Philip Snipes with a huge head of steam. He gets turned in front of Bryn Roberts. And is that our 11th caution? No, yes it is. Caution comes out for the 11th time. Snipes got turned. I'm not sure who he was being pushed by. Was it by Hall or by Gibb? We'll take a look and see our 11th caution. The most we've had this season, 12 last week. We're almost tying it. And the more cautions we get, especially like these, where there's not a lot of damage, the more repairs that can be done and more cars can enter the fray. Hunter Whitlock, I think, gets the free pass again, so he will be one lap down for this next restart, this 11th restart coming up. Snipes had worked his way, went laps down early, worked them back, got his car repaired from the lap 10 crash to get up to the top 5, only to immediately get turned on the exit of turn 4. Your Daytona 500 race winner from earlier this May getting turned, and we're going to take a look as to why. The caution is going to come out for Bryn Roberts being close to the racing surface. It's Dustin Hall that comes up and kind of just pushes Philip Snipes around there. And we'll take a look here. Quarter speed through turns 3 and 4. We've seen it all night. These cars are so bottomed out to find absolute speed that they're so unstable. They're on rails. In theory, that's not a bad bump from Dustin Hall. It's not a bad bump from Dustin Hall. It's just on the exit of the corner. These cars are so on rails. The Arrowhead cars especially. I talked to drivers before this race. They talked about the setup being so on rails. It seemed like this was going to be a problem for the team. They seemed like they had predicted that it would be a problem. And indeed, that's exactly what happened here. Bryn Roberts tries locking it up there, just tries avoiding hitting the wall. He thinks he's going to come up the racetrack. The caution comes out there. There's like a car stopped in traffic there. But he's trying to avoid that car spearing into the safer barrier on the outside wall. Does a good job in that, but a caution hard to avoid in that circumstance. Whitlock gets the free pass, and for others, a chance to get some more work done. You see Snipes leaving pit lane, getting some fresh set of tires because you burned through those last ones pretty hard, locking the tires up. Bryn Roberts also leaving pit lane. A little bit of damage repair work being done there on the number 8 machine. Odie back down pit lane for repair work, same with Santiago. Pereira still on pit lane. Has been there for over a minute as well. A lot of wounded race cars here. This is going to be important, so we'll go ahead and go over it now because we'll reference it later on. Overtime rules here in HTL. There's 3 attempts to try to finish this race under green if we need additional laps beyond the lap 100. Each overtime attempt is a 2-lap restart. The green flag will start overtime. If a caution comes out before the white flag, they'll re-rack and give it another go. If a caution ends, If a caution comes out on the third attempt before the white flag, the race ends under caution. Once the white flag is displayed and the leader takes the white flag, this race ends under green. Just like in Winsell in their point of no return, any incidents caused under an overtime, a restart will be reviewed after the race by the Cup Series officials. Hopefully everyone makes sense of that. Pretty standard rule set we see all the time in iRacing. No different here. Once upon a time, there was unlimited restarts. This race in Season 4 put an end to that rule pretty quickly. So did that race in Pocono in Season 4. Season 4 was a bad couple... There's a bad few races in Season 4. But 3 attempts is the fair. That's the normal number of overtime attempts we've got going on here. We'll be going green under regulation with 5 laps to go. So... who feels lucky here in Daytona? A couple cars saving fuel. Mo Perry on the apron trying to save a little bit of fuel. I don't know why. He came up pit lane on lap 83. Lap 86, excuse me. He may just be out of line for a moment. Everyone is going to be working hard on these last 5 laps. 11th restart coming up here in the Firecracker 400. This is the record most in a Firecracker 400 event. There's a chance for us to see more as this race goes along. We appreciate you being with us here on Monday night around the world for this event. It's been a chaotic night. It's been a wild night. And that chaos is not quite done just yet. Teammates at the front of the field. Patrick Oberstadt and Dustin Hall. Del Markowski makes it 3 Beagle Denny Racing cars in a row. Kevin Gibney Jr. makes it a top 4. That time for Odie Racing. The pace car is in. And it's time to duel again. Green flag is out. 11th restart underway. 20 cars on the lead lap. And we ask the question again, who do you got? And for the drivers, what do you got? For these last few laps. 12.5 miles at the green flag is what we're counting down from. We'll be at 10 miles to go, at 4 to go. Here comes teammates outside lane. Emily Howe, Josh Susie, outer groove. Meredith goes topside. We see 4 to go under green. How much further do we go? A lot of side drafting going to take place here. Huge opportunity for mistakes to happen, as we've seen tonight. Chevrolet's on the bottom. Toyota's up top. And the Toyotas have the run. Meredith has never won at Daytona in HTL. Does that change tonight? Outer Groove has momentum. Inside lane, drifting up the racetrack a little bit. Is handling a factor right now. Outside lane, just rocking it to the front. Here comes Howe and Susie. And John Matthews in tow. Meredith gets lost. Thrown backwards by the Arrowhead Racing duo. John Matthews in third, fighting through the nerve pain that has kept him out of several races this season. He is in the third position. Here comes Patrick Oberstadt outside lane. Markowski stays on the bottom. Are the Arrowhead cars in the right spot at the right time? Cars sliding backwards. That's one of the Henderson graphics cars. I believe that's Henderson himself. It is Henderson himself. He backs out of the way. 2 to go, 5 miles. Car on the outer groove alone. Pressey, no help. He'll fall back. Tandem. Patrick Oberstadt and Zach Meredith outside lane. Here comes Josh Arnold. Both Militia Racing Club drivers looking to go back-to-back like they did in New Hampshire. Can they do that? Oberstadt trying to control both lanes, gets neither. Here comes to the white flag. 1 lap to go, presented by Henderson Graphics. This is official. And they get turned. They get turned. Huge spin on the back straightaway. Here we go. And they're going to crash more. We're down to 4. It's a huge crash, a melee behind. Arrowhead cars versus a huge tandem of non-teammates. Gibney's in this mix. Thompson's in this mix. They're still crashing behind. Roberts is still in the mix. Roberts and Christina Ryan, they're working together. They crash out of 4. Coming to the start-finish line, Josh Soucy's going to win the Firecracker 400. Bailey Thompson, once again, settles for a podium finish, 2nd place. Emily Howe in 3rd. The Tabasco fiasco from a lap down with damage on lap 10 to victory lane. Josh Soucy, his 17th career win in the Cup Series. His first for Arrowhead Racing. We will take a look at the final few laps of this race. We are absolutely obliged to look at those final 5 laps, especially the last 2. A wild run to the finish. Nicholas Pressey, in some way, shape, or form, ends up finishing 4th in this race. Stephen Oberstadt 5th, Philip Snipes in 6th. Brent Roberts, Eli Sasek, Mo Perry, Christina Ryan, your top 10. And Josh Soucy gets to celebrate in victory lane here tonight. The fireworks go off in the background. And Josh Soucy makes it happen here in a wild turn of events. No lap traffic to be worried about here in the Firecracker, unlike what we saw at Daytona to start the season for the 500. It was a straight-up drag race to the finish. When you put Arrowhead cars together like that at a super speedway, we saw it at Daytona, we've seen it at Atlanta, we saw it at Talladega. They have a chance to do something magical, and that's what we saw. Didn't qualify the best tonight. That was the surprising part. We thought they might have missed the mark. Bullish victory lap. That would have been done by Dale Markowski as well had he won in the Alan Kowicki number 7. But he will celebrate and do the Polish victory lap here in Daytona. His first win of the Firecracker to add to his Daytona 500 victory back in Season 5. A lot to go over. We'll review the last couple laps here, and we'll talk to your podium finishers. We'll probably have an extended post-race on Patreon as well. So for those that want to see more interviews beyond your top 3, subscribe to Patreon. It's in the description down below if you need a quick link to that. But let's go over the unofficial results here from the Firecracker 400. Josh Soucy, Bailey Thompson, Emily Howell, those will be talked to. We'll talk to them live here on YouTube. Nicholas Pressey in 4th. Stephen Oberstadt, your top 5. At Philip Snipes, Bren Roberts, Eli Sasek, Mo Perry, Christina Ryan. Had a chance, had a big run with Bren Roberts. Got blocked. That crash at a turn 4 we'll look at on the final lap. Zach Meredith in 11th. Angel Santiago finishes 12th after starting this race 35th in the field. Bren Roberts from 37th to 7th tonight. Kevin Gibney Jr., what could have been, had a chance at a phenomenal drive, could have been one of his best wins ever. Instead, it's 13th for the 77. I had a John Matthews, Richard Odie, and 15th, Dale Markowski. Only 16th. Disappointing for him. Dustin Hall, 17th place. James Wright on 18th. I had a Patrick Oberstadt and DJ Trout. Hunter Whitlock in 21st. Both of them off the lead lap. James Wright and Patrick Oberstadt, the last two on the lead lap there. 19 cars in total. Zach Apperson takes the checkered flag in 20th. 3 laps down. Same with Olivia Pereira, 23rd place. Wesley Worley, 7 laps down in 24th is how he rounds things out here in this top 24. Disappointment through this part of the field as well. Tucker Sawyer, Byron Jones, Blake Henderson, Martin Roberg, Jason Scott, Josh Arnold, Pacey Wygant, Elias Flores. All of them struggling to make laps here tonight. Same with Caitlin Height, 33rd. Didn't matter for her too awful much. Already locked into the playoffs. But disappointing to leave Daytona empty-handed like this in that position. Aiden Fitzpatrick, Blue Jade, flipped those positions around. They both retired on the same lap. 34th, 35th for them. Alfred Denny, 36th. His chance at making the playoffs effectively done here tonight. Brady Smith, Austin Mongold. Same for them. Austin Mongold, part-time driver. He was out first and foremost, out of the gate on lap 5. Brady Smith, though, this is a huge hit to him as far as how points will look going into the road course at Daytona. The mountain only got a lot taller for Brady Smith. If he was going to try to make that dark horse run into the playoffs, that is now on life support if you're the 95 camp. We do want to take a look at the white flag. This is where things really kind of uncork before we talk to your podium finishers here tonight. And this is coming to the white flag. We want to get a good shot here. Let's see if we can get our spotter cam up and running here. This is a really good shot from our spotter's cam. And this is where it all really comes undone. And it comes undone quickly. Through the tri-oval. And we'll stop it here in slow motion because it all kicks off out of this tri-oval. Bad bump there. That's Patrick Oberstadt in front of Josh Arnold. The 88 and the 2 from the inside lane to the outside wall. They both go. Everyone tries avoiding, but you see, entering turn 1, cars below the yellow line. 2 into 1's not going to go. 3 into 1's a problem. More contact there. You see John Matthews, Richard Odie, and this is where things get very ugly for them. As the leaders begin to break away. Big chance for Bren Roberts and Christina Ryan. They break away scot-free here, and they're the last ones that do in this conversation. Pressy somehow, that number 20, that Star Wars number 20, somehow ends up back to get enough to 4th place. James Wright gets turned by Mo Perry, and it's just mayhem all the way through here. Christina Ryan behind Bren Roberts. They had such an opportunity here. Down this back straightaway, it was a wild sight because none of these 4 put together. They've got full head of steam out of the outside lane on the back straightaway. And they keep wrecking for a hot minute. It's bad for a second. Outside lane is where they go. It's just bad bumps there out of turn 4. Christina Ryan tries to save it. Does save it, but loses spots there. Pressy does enough to survive for 4th. Ahead of Oberstadt and Philip Snipes, who were all involved there in turn 2. But kept their car pointing in the right direction to run back to the finish. Good runs for all 3 of them. Very needed results for all 3 of them. Christina Ryan, I think, does enough to help herself in the point standings here, looking at the playoff order. But it's tough. It is a wild run. Not a ton of green flag racing to be found tonight. 11 cautions. Voids matching what we saw last week in New Hampshire. Barely. That being said, we do have interviews to take place here as we get ready for all of that. A wild turn of events here in Daytona. Let's start with their top three. Emily Howell ends up in third. This was all about just bagging more points, being already locked into the playoffs here for the HTL Cup Series. Emily, walk us through it. A lot of horsepower, a lot of cars on edge tonight. We saw a lot of cautions as a result of that. The 15 camp, not a lot of cars completely put together at the end of this race. The 15 car had some war wounds, had some battle scars, but a third place, not a bad effort tonight.
Yeah, not too bad to get in and out of Daytona with some stage points. I think we won stage one and then
Yeah.
got tookened out for stage two and then got untookened out for stage three. So that was fun. Good win to Sosi there. Great push in there when it came down to it. Special shout out to Bailey for being Most Improved Plate Racer of the Year award. And, special thanks to everyone who decided to, just crash out of the way on the last lap there. That was very, very thoughtful.
Obviously, crazy race. We knew it was going to be crazy. It's not Talladega. There's no 5 lanes that you can really play and pick from here. The extra power did change a lot with how these cars performed based on how we saw them last season. Obviously, open setups. The Arrowhead cars didn't qualify the best tonight. Had some work to do. Susie obviously qualified the best of the group in 5th, but it seemed like there was something that was missing for just a moment in qualifying that this team had to sort of work through. What was it like putting things together for this race? Obviously, we saw a lot of the sparks flying. These cars bottomed out in ways we hadn't seen at Daytona for the 500. Was that a huge factor? And was straight line speed more important than stability in this race?
Oh, yeah, I mean, pretty much always straight line speed is going to be what matters here at Daytona. And then, yeah, for qualifying, I really didn't care to build a qualifying setup. Right, like, we got to the front. You saw me and Chrissy come to the front in 2 laps from the mid-20s, and it really didn't matter. So I put all of our baskets into the race setup, and we had really good speed. We had really good handling. I think our gear set was pretty good, too, for being able to balance out pushing with the acceleration. So, overall, very happy with our package tonight.
Obviously, it works out. First and third is a good place to be. Um, Obviously, you're already in the playoffs here. You were the first one locked in with a massive points advantage here. We stay in Daytona at the road course next time out. Not many have driven the road course, especially not recently. What's the expectation going into that road course? It is the NASCAR variant, so it's got the weird chicane out of oval turn 4 that drivers will have to try to navigate in this next gen car for the first time in several seasons here in HTL alone.
Christ. Do we have to race next week?
I
I
mean,
was excited for Daytona Road Course till I heard of the damn NASCAR chicane, man. Can we lobby? Can we get
uh,
a poll together in chat to lobby for the regular road course?
unfortunately, that poll has already been tried and failed. So, yeah,
No.
they've already tried it.
What if I try it and I fail?
Well, I think the key word there is fail on that one.
Do I get like a champions provisional? Like, do I get like points leader provisional for like extra votes and like broadcast provisional?
Unfortunately, I don't think it works that way, especially a week from now. That being said, Daytona and Charlotte are 2 big races. Charlotte, I think, more critical for you than Daytona Road Course. Just entering the playoffs on a high note, Charlotte being their home racetrack will be important in that aspect. These last 2 races, how important is it to just keep momentum high? Because these results, they still matter at the end of the day. It's still all about keeping momentum and keeping everything sharp and ready to go. How important is it to go out and finish this regular season, on a high note with these 2 races? Neither will be easy. Everyone bringing their A game, going to try to do so at least with these next 2 races. The 15 car's been strong on road courses. Is Daytona going to be any different?
I mean, I think it's as long as Reed Valentine doesn't show up. Is Reed Valentine scheduled to win the cars next week? Do you know?
He's in one of ours, yes.
Oh, cool. Then yeah, good win him. Shout out to our teammates for winning, and I'll finish like third next week and head into Charlotte, and then I'm excited for Charlotte. Charlotte will be fun. We're really good at the handling tracks, the mile and a half handling tracks, so uh, expect hopefully a repeat of Homestead, and yeah, should be a fun way to round out the season. I know seemed like everyone who's close in points to me tonight did not have a fantastic night. So I imagine my lead will have increased coming into Daytona again.
Daytona cubed. And you are correct. Bern Roberts did not have the best night. Pacey Wygant ended up tonight. If I look for him here, he did not finish 31st for him. And Katie also had a bad night, did not finish either. She was 33rd.
Yeah, so, I think that should be enough padding with, next week being a road course where we don't have any yellows or anything to really throw a wrench in strategy as long as I perform decently and, get an expected top 5. And then Charlotte should hopefully be part of the course to round out the regular season and head on into the chase-offs. I don't know. What are they called? Chase-offs here? What are they called here?
It's the playoffs here.
We gotta rebrand that.
It's the playoffs here. It's the Chase and the Challenger Series. It's no win and but you still have the championship 8 and then the round of 16, or the championship 8. And round of 16, championship 8. I had them flipped. So still important. Those 8 races in the playoffs there. That being said, tonight, a great way to sort of run things through. Throwback scheme on our screen. The 2002 Napa Know-How, the Auto Parts Toyota tonight. Finishing 3rd tonight. Again, phenomenal here at Daytona. And now having a result at Daytona to show for it instead of being a lap down at the end, like at the 500. Before
I was worried when I on the lap down. I don't know if you noticed, but okay, so I was, fixing my damages and, doing my regular strat of leaving at 2 seconds at pace car, and somehow my left side tires got rechecked. And let me tell you, I took left side tires when I lap down. I was like, man, I don't want to have this happen again.
I was concerned because for a moment there were 3 Arrowhead cars a lap down, and I was like, oh no, it's happening again.
Yeah, being all Rocky Top, and I think Katie was out by that point.
Yeah, Katie was already out by that point.
We were doing it in style, back to front challenge.
Yeah, you all, cardiac
work
team.
At Clean Racers.
I'm going to have a heart attack following this team.
Well, that's unfortunate. That's as much of a Verda fishing pole, I'd have to say.
Well, before I let you go, obviously let you get ready for next week. No Wednesday to get ready for. Just a huge old iRacing update next Tuesday. If there's anyone I shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Phenomenal looking race car. Henderson Graphics made that paint yesterday to get ready for tonight's race, and it got a podium tonight. So a great effort across the board there. But if there's anyone else you want to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the P3, another podium, and another extension of the championship lead as we get ready for the last 2 regular season races.
Yeah, shout out to that Blake Henderson guy from Blake Henderson Graphics for putting together a good-looking scheme for tonight. Glad we had it up front for a long time and had it up front come to the end. I got to thank everyone behind the scenes at AVN. Everyone behind the scenes at Winstyle who helped put everything together this year. Fantastic season of Winstyle and AVN came to a close on Sunday. I, of course, won the regular season there and then got decimated by Brennan McGee several times in the playoffs or the chase-offs or whatever they call it in 2007. And then shout out to... Who else we got on the car? HTL. We got HTL in the car. Yeah, HTL is a fine league, fine drivers, and I want to thank all the viewers at home for voting my poll to get the track switch over to the correct track for next week.
A phenomenal job for Emily Howe here. P3 for Arrowhead Racing. A phenomenal job in that throwback. The Napa Auto Parts machine looking outstanding. A little bit Winstell vibes. We're so used to seeing the 15 Napa Auto Parts car with Emily Howe as we did this year in the 55. And another podium here at Daytona. Emily, congratulations, and we'll see you next week once again here at Daytona.
Thank you.
A phenomenal job for Emily Howe. Another phenomenal job. This was a very needed result for Bailey Thompson. The drought for results have come to an end, and for a driver trying to make the top 16 in points, this was vital. Bailey Thompson, 2nd place, top 5s in both races in Daytona this season. That is what the doctor ordered. Walk us through your race, because you found yourself in the right position at the right time, but it took 11 cautions and a lot of drama to get there.
Yeah, first shout out to this pit crew, because I think that I'm on my 4th front nose, so the bill's probably not going to be pretty, but thank you to those guys for keeping the car somewhat good. But yeah, I called it early on that this was going to be a race of attrition. So I kind of wish I wasn't right because it would have been cool to see this thing run out pretty clean, but it happens. But yeah, it was really just about being mindful of everyone else, giving each other space. There was a lot of issues with handling that you could tell, especially from that top line. I actually had to do multiple adjustments to keep the car. I had to raise the car up in the rear multiple times just so I could keep a hold of my car because it wanted to break free really bad and cause the sport ender. So glad I didn't cause that one, but it was very sketchy.
A second place here does a lot of good for the 27 camp in an amazing way. In 25th in points going in, the results have been difficult. You've been very vocal about how difficult this season has been, not only result wise, but just mentally, because of it's a sort of it's a tandem effect. Once one goes down, the other sort of drags along with it. How important was this race for you? And obviously, the road course at Daytona coming up in a week, and Charlotte after that to end up the regular season. Does the 27 car in a position now to try to make a giant push towards the playoff? There's a lot of drivers trying to do so. The 27 car now has the right foot forward, and not many others do right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very vocal to my close friends about how much this season has like sucked out all of the fun for racing for me, but this is so much needed. Like that fire in my heart to keep going has just been doused with gasoline. So I'm pumped. I know everyone around me is super excited. So this has been a very mentally grueling season, but I feel reignited. So I am absolutely 100% ready to push on forward.
2 races to go in this campaign, a Japanese throwback, a Super Taikyu throwback on that 27 car tonight, a one-off appearance here. And it got a podium. A good run of form here for, it seems like anytime you have green on the car, it goes pretty well. The Sprite car did well here in Daytona to kick off the season as well. Maybe that's a theme. Maybe that's something to keep an eye out for.
There's no green on the car.
It looks like, I thought there was. Looks like it's yellow.
It's yellow.
It's whatever. I don't. Either way. Fantastic looking race car though tonight, all things considered. I'm using the colorblind version of iRacing, so it all looks different. That being said, though, a phenomenal run. Daytona coming up next week on the road course. Before we let you go and let you get ready, a lot of practice going to be put in to get into that race on the right track there. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. The push for the playoffs begins in earnest tonight. A second place for Billy Thompson. Not far from another race victory, and another race victory could do a lot of wonders in the next 2 weeks.
Of course. Always, I want to shout out my dad. He is the reason I started racing, so this is always for him. But I also want to shout out my Uncle Timmy. Some of you may have seen photos of my car, but on my name rail, I have his name on my name rail. He was involved in a life-threatening accident Saturday morning, and he's in a coma right now. So I wish you the best, Uncle Timmy. I love you a lot, man. So I really hope you pull through from this. But I also want to thank all my sponsors, BT Visuals, BFL, CH Productions, Henderson Graphics, all the people that keep me going, all my close friends. So thank you very much to everyone that's behind me.
A phenomenal job for Billy Thompson. Second place is exactly what the doctor ordered, getting ready for this push for the playoffs. 25th in points going in, a lot better coming out here in Daytona. We'll see how things play out next Monday here on the road course. Bailey, congratulations, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next Monday here in Daytona once again.
Yep, thank you so much. Have a good one.
A phenomenal job for Bailey Thompson here tonight, but the man of the hour, it looked like dire straits 10 laps in. The Tabasco fiasco was living up to its name. Josh Susie somehow found a way to turn things around, get that damage repaired. Spent most of the first 2 stages a lap down. Fights back second half of the race, makes your way back up into the top 10. Almost got taken out a third time in this race, survived that, and then a push to the finish sees the number 16 in victory lane, Josh Susie. First one for Arrowhead Racing in a very good-looking Tabasco Fiasco car. Walk us through it. That was probably the most patience-testing race you've been through in a while.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And all I was having is flashbacks of Homestead, and like I didn't even make it what was it, lap 10 at Homestead, and it was lap 6 here, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah, I had 7 minutes of damage. Somehow it was all fixable. I don't know how. We got really lucky there. Took a lap and then just kept taking chunks. I didn't get the lucky dog the first caution, but thankfully, not for the league, but for me individually, we had a bunch of monkeys on the track and they couldn't handle the extra speed and they kept bringing out yellows. And I think, like Bailey mentioned, the handling was part of it. A lot of people just had like normal NIS, they open setups that are not tuned for lower fuel and more horsepower. So I think it caught a lot of people off guard. You saw the product of that in the racing itself. The runs were massive. If you got any space, you could just get a giant run. I think Emily said at one point they'd hit 212 down the backstretch, and I think one they went from like 20th to the lead. And I know a couple of times I saw 208, 209, just kind of playing around with it in practice, and it was crazy. Was trying to fix my damage. We had a wreck off of 2. I had to come to like almost complete stop, put it in the wall a little bit to miss it, and they wrecked on the front stretch, and I had to stop completely before the start finish line, and I was dodging everything left, right, and center. They had the big wreck in 3 and 4. I just held the yellow line. Somehow the seas parted, and then we take the white flag, and they're wrecking above me, and thank the Lord I shifted left, or else I would have got wrapped up in that. And I don't know. I think I used all 9 of my lives tonight. I always run the Hello Kitty scheme normally. All those lives are gone. Doesn't matter. I think we nuked the world. You kidding me? Susie in an Arrowhead car for ABN winning the race. Like, all right, where's the nukes? Like, it's over.
The place downstairs is frozen over, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So if you got stocks in hell, they just went through the roof. Sell now, sell. Thank Bailey for the shot at 3 and 4. I know they were kind of either push Gibney or push me, and thankfully chose me. I was able to get a good run. Emily was a good teammate there and didn't throw an aggressive block or anything. Make sure we both got a good finish and didn't screw each other over and come out on the hook in like 15th. And yeah, it was wild. I came off of 2. Both my oil and my water was red. Gibney jumped to the outside, and it was just game on from there. Figure out what could happen, and it just happened to all work out right.
Obviously, jumping in as a super sub, you did a couple races throughout the season with Gibney Racing Division, the team that you all race with, I guess now Triple S Motorsports in the Challenger Series. Stepped aside, came back in as a super sub, just kind of doing odds and ends there. 17th career win in the Cup Series here for you tonight. A phenomenal achievement, puts you within 2 of the all-time Cup Series record. Winning at Daytona always feels special. This was the one thing missing from your resume, was the Firecracker as far as races here at the High Banks. How good does it feel getting this Firecracker race? Because this is the race where if there was bad luck, this was the one that got you. How good does it feel being able to shrug off that bad luck and still find a way to get a result? Because, again, more often than not, this was the race you'd flip in. And tonight, even with that still almost being the case, just found a way to persevere.
Yeah, no, it feels great. I'm always able to position myself to be in contention for the win. And for whatever reason, like you said, on this Firecracker version of this race, I can't quite miss that bad luck bug. And I thought it got me again tonight. Thankfully I stuck around, just trying to get the car as best points as possible. And it worked out. It was, it's a lot different mentality and approach now where I get to come in and chase wins and have fun, right? I kind of felt like, I guess, Harrison Burton in a 35 car in real life at Daytona, taking over for somebody because they were sick. So there was no pressure on me. I just wanted to get a good solid result for you in the car. I was still stinging a little from Homestead, just knowing how good that car was and seeing who finished up at the front of the race and knowing I had the same piece and just as equal of ability and talent to try to make it happen. And, to be able to get some redemption here is pretty nice. So, I'm just showing up, filling in for people where I can, when I want to, without any pressure, and letting it rip and having fun. And it's brought a little bit of the joy back. Running the Challenger Series did kind of heal some of the sour taste in my mouth, and it reminds you why you do this, and that we all love this hobby and profession, and that's why we do it. A lot of people can get wrapped up too much sometimes in the competitiveness in it, and lose sight of the joy and the fun in it.
A phenomenal drive tonight. Again, perseverance to the max for the 16 camp, the Tabasco Fiasco. The paint scheme will be seeing a lot more. Josh Susi, as you mentioned, are going to be filling in odds and ends throughout probably the rest of the season. Obviously, a driver in high demand, as a two-time Cup Series champion should be. That being said, 17th race win tonight in the Cup Series. A phenomenal effort. 5th place, best qualifying Toyota in the field as well. If there's anyone I shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on the race win. Can't say it wasn't earned, going from a lap down to winning the race here in Daytona.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Carmen. Man, this is a little awkward because I got to pull up the other tab here, kind of look around. Just everyone that partners up with Arrowhead, ABN, obviously E83, Henderson Graphics. That's odd to say again, but I won a title repping him before, so not too bad of a curveball to say that again. TWRS for the Bad Fast qual set, and then Emily for the really good race set. I figured if I'm going to run on the team and the set was provided, I wasn't going to try to disgrace them by not running it. So we all had the same stuff, same equipment. It was a good piece. I fought a little bit of handling issues on some corner entries, but I think that was more so just with the extra speed and everything. And you saw the results there. 2 on the podium. Everyone at HTL that showed up, all the admins for their hard work behind the scene, and of course, you for sticking it out on tough nights like this and putting our stuff out there for all our friends and family to watch. We couldn't show that to them without you. So big shout out, appreciate you, and we'll see you when the next time I get to show up on track is.
It's going to be a lot of fun seeing you on the racetrack again here. I'm assuming it's going to be very soon, as it should be for Josh Susi. Race winner of the Firecracker 400 here tonight, 17th career win in the number 16. He wins for Arrowhead Racing, becoming the 4th driver to do so for the team. Josh, congratulations, and hopefully we'll talk to you again very soon. Obviously, Challenger coming up next week, and you'll be defending that title as well.
All right, appreciate it, Carmen. Thank you.
A phenomenal job for Josh Susi here tonight. And that will conclude our YouTube coverage here of the HTL Cup Series. There'll be a lot more to cover here on Patreon. We're doing more extended interviews here. AB and Victory Lane back in earnest here on Patreon. We hope you join us. The link is available in the live chat right now. If not, we will see you on Thursday for the Crown Athletics IndyCar Series, their season finale in Fontana. On behalf of everyone here at HTL and everyone here at ABN Studios, our partners Henderson Graphics and Advanced, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned on Patreon. We'll see you next time in California. So long, everybody.